not leaving. You will have to put hands on me, which will be an assault, sir.
Please.
And there'll be a misconduct. Look at this guy. You tell me you turned your body worn on.
I forgot.
You forgot. Is that good enough? When you've just assaulted...
Welcome to Public Audit, the channel where misconduct is exposed, police and legal encounters are carefully analyzed, rights are defended, and accountability is demanded every single time. Today's footage comes from the Laughing Auditor, so make sure to check the link in the description, subscribe to his channel, and give full credit for the original recording. In this episode, the Laughing Auditor is peacefully filming inside a publicly accessible council building when officers arrive and immediately begin creating issues where none clearly exist. There's no defined offense, no solid legal explanation, just a rising tone and increasingly questionable claims. What starts as a calm interaction quickly escalates, and within minutes an officer is physically removing him, as though force can compensate for a lack of lawful authority. The only reason this doesn't become a simple case of conflicting accounts is because the camera never stops recording, and what it captures tells a very different story.
So you're upsetting the council a little bit?
I'm upsetting the council.
Yeah?
I'm not doing anything.
Well, they've called us and said, because they're concerned, you've come in here, you're wearing a mask, you're wearing shades, and what they were concerned about is that you were filming doors, security doors,
Yeah, I was.
cameras, things like that.
Yeah, I was.
Obviously, in these times, they would be worried about that.
Would they?
Because that looks to be hostile reconnaissance.
What's
doesn't
that?
it? You don't know what hostile reconnaissance
No.
is? Hostile reconnaissance is when someone who's planning a terrorist attack or some other action against people will come to the location in the first to find out where the areas of vulnerability are, where security cameras are, where locations are, that.
Okay.
That's obviously something the council are very keyed up to during these modern times. That's something they're worried about.
Hold on a second, 'cause you said a lot of things. First and foremost, do you mind identifying yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm Sergeant James Hudson.
Okay.
As you can tell, I've just come out of the police station.
Second, hostile reconnaissance. Is that the textbook definition?
I don't know what the textbook definition is, but that's a definition.
Okay, so it's not the definition, okay? And it involves covert recording. So this isn't covert, this is
Hostile
overt.
reconnaissance doesn't have to be covert.
Okay, so if you knew the textbook definition...
This is the moment the narrative falls apart. The officer immediately characterizes the activity as hostile reconnaissance, a loaded phrase typically associated with covert. Surveillance tied to criminal preparation. That's not casual language. It carries implications of pre-operational planning, secrecy, and intent to facilitate wrongdoing. But look at the reality in front of them. The auditor is standing in plain view, holding a camera openly, making no effort to conceal himself or his actions. There's no stealth, no disguise, no attempt to avoid detection. The conduct is visible, obvious, and transparent. True hostile reconnaissance, by definition, involves concealed information gathering with the purpose of supporting future criminal activity. Openly filming in a publicly accessible area does not fit that description. Visibility undercuts the premise. Applying a term like that to routine, overt recording doesn't strengthen the officer's position, it weakens it. When serious terminology is stretched beyond its actual meaning, it stops functioning as a legal concept and starts sounding like a pressure tactic. And when language becomes inflated to create authority rather than reflect facts, that's usually where credibility begins to slip.
It's quite clear.
It's irrelevant. We can both agree that would look like hostile reconnaissance. Is that right?
Okay. No, I don't agree.
You don't agree?
No, I don't.
Well, would you mind identifying yourself to me?
Do I need to?
Well, yeah, because to me it looks like you are currently carrying out hostile reconnaissance.
Yes, I need to.
Yeah, I'm saying I would like you to because of that.
Okay.
And I think you know that you're going to provoke this kind of
No,
reaction.
you just said I need to identify myself.
No, I would like you to.
Okay, well, I'm not going to identify myself.
Okay, well, would you mind leaving the council?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't mind leaving? Okay, thank you.
If you identified yourself properly, sir.
Yeah,
please
Sergeant,
don't step so close.
Sergeant
Please.
James Hudson.
Okay. Another
2673, Bournemouth Police
Another
Station.
question. What's that in the uniform?
Which bit?
The thing that looks similar to a flag.
That?
Yeah, is that police issue?
That's a thin blue line.
Is it police issue?
No, that was personal.
Not part of the uniform. You know, some people find that offensive. I spoke to your colleague at the back gate.
Do you find it offensive?
I do find it offensive. Can you take it off, please?
No, I'm not going to take it off. You'll forgive me for smiling there, because you're talking about the decent thing, yet you're coming in here, masking your face, making members of the other public concerned,
have you had a
making
complaint?
us receive. Yeah, we've received 999 calls.
From who?
About you. From
who?
council members
From the
and staff.
council, so not members of the public.
This is the moment where the overstep becomes unmistakable. Labeling someone's actions as hostile reconnaissance does not automatically unlock a legal power to demand identification, because authority must be grounded in clear, objective facts rather than dramatic language. Genuine suspicion requires observable behavior suggesting preparation for wrongdoing, not vague impressions or loaded terminology. And when the concern stems from internal counsel unease instead of an actual complaint about criminal activity, the justification becomes even thinner. Discomfort is not an offense, and you cannot transform staff anxiety into a policing matter, then use it as a basis to pressure a lawful individual into surrendering personal details.
Are they not members of the public?
The public officials.
Well, as far as I'm aware, people in here as well have come to them and said, I'm concerned about that man.
Okay.
So, members of the public within here, because of your actions.
What members of the public?
I don't know which members of the public. Because
I've been sat here.
I didn't receive the call myself.
25 minutes. Sorry, I've been sat here for about 32 minutes, and there's maybe been about 4 or 5 members of the public that have come past and stayed within this area. Not one person's batted an eyelid about the fact I'm sat with a camera. I've not been filming members of the public.
As far as you know.
No, I know. Because I'm good at what I do. So
you've spoken to every single person.
No, what I'm saying is I'm not filming. I'm not filming members of the public. When members of the public are passing my camera, I'm dropping it.
I can only tell you what I've been told, and that is that we've received a call saying that you are causing concern
from council officials.
Look,
public officials.
If you let me finish talking, I'll explain it to you. But if you're going to try and put words in my mouth, then there's not much point having a conversation, is there?
So I'm not putting words in your mouth. You told me
you're trying to finish my sentence. I was trying to explain
No. You had members of the. You says that you had 99 calls from members of staff.
Basically, what it boils down to.
Then the sergeant attempts to reinforce the narrative by asserting that members of the public have also raised concerns, yet nothing on camera supports that claim. Pedestrians pass by calmly. No one challenges the filming, no one appears upset, and there's no visible sign of disturbance. If real complaints existed, you would expect something concrete. A specific incident, a reaction, at least a clear example, not a broad, unsourced statement introduced to prop up a fragile argument. On top of that, none of these passers-by were even filmed in a way that could cause harm, which strips away the suggestion of impact altogether. Public alarm cannot simply be declared into existence when the evidence shows none.
This man to leave.
Okay.
Please exit.
One last thing.
You're now trespassing.
Trespassing is a civil matter. You have no
which
authority.
Can be enforced by the police.
Can it?
Of course it can.
No, it can't.
Please leave.
No.
You're not going to leave.
No, you're going to make me leave.
I will have to remove you if you refuse
so
to leave.
Let's, before we go any further.
No. There is no conversation.
Before we go any further,
you are trespassing.
If you put hands on me, it will be an assault.
No, it won't.
It will be an assault. You'll be infringing my rights.
Asked you to leave.
Let me finish my sentence, please. It's a public building. It's publicly accessible. The conversation
and your implied right to access has been removed.
Why are you getting aggressive?
Because I need you to leave.
Okay,
and you are not
leaving.
listening.
It's a public building.
Yes.
It's funded by the taxpayer.
Your implied right to access has been removed.
You can't remove that. It's not your building.
It is a private building.
Okay, it's not a private building. Who pays for it?
The council.
The council pays for it. Who pays for the council, sir?
Everybody.
Okay,
well, you've not identified yourself to me.
It's a reception. It's a reception. I've not tried to go past.
Please leave.
Stop closing the distance.
Because I need you to leave.
I'm not leaving. You will have to put hands on me, which will be an assault, sir.
Please.
And there'll be a misconduct. Look at this, guys.
Thank you very much.
No,
come on, buddy.
And this is the point where the reasoning falls apart entirely. The sergeant turns to a staff member, asks whether he wants the auditor removed. Hears yes, and then treats that answer as though it magically grants police authority, when it clearly does not. Trespass, in its basic form, is a civil issue unless it's aggravated or connected to a defined criminal offense, and nothing in this situation meets that threshold. A council building funded by taxpayers and open for public access cannot simply be reclassified as private property because it's convenient in the moment. In fact, the sergeant undercuts his own stance by acknowledging that the council pays for it, meaning the public does. That contradiction exposes the weakness in the argument, and rather than clarifying the legal basis, he defaults to physical force, grabbing and removing the auditor when he cannot properly articulate the lawful power behind his actions.
When did you turn your body worn on?
I had it on all.
Why didn't you tell me? It's against your look at this. Get your hands off me now.
Would you mind exiting
No,
the whole
I'm in a public place. When did you tell me that you turned your body worn on?
Would you mind
tyrant?
exiting?
No, I will not.
Why not?
Because I don't want to. It's a public place. I can do what I want. When were you going to tell me that you turned this on? You just infringed on my rights, sir. How dare you? You're a disgrace to the uniform.
Thank you very much.
Who do you think you are?
I'm James Hodson.
There'll be a complaint going in against you, sir.
Excellent.
Professional standards, and we'll see exactly what happens. Why didn't you tell me you turned your body worn on?
I forgot.
You forgot. Is that good enough? When you've just assaulted me in a public place?
Well, Luckily, it was all recorded.
Was it? And why didn't you tell me? You covertly recorded me.
This is not very covert. Because you'll be removed again. And
again.
And then if you don't, we're going to have to look at what, you causing harassment to the people within the building.
I'm not spoken to anyone in there except that man over there.
Actions. I've told you how your actions.
No, you're a disgrace, sir. Go away. You're dismissed. Get out of my face.
Okay. You don't dismiss me.
Yes, I will dismiss you. You're a public servant. You do what you're told.
You are causing a public nuisance.
You do what you're told.
We're not public servants.
Where's the
we're crown
complaint?
servants.
Where's the complaint? Who's the complaint from?
Who's the
member of the public that's made a complaint?
Okay, I would not.
Member of the public that's made a complaint.
When asked who actually made the complaint, the answer given is simply a member of the public, repeated without detail or clarity, and that vagueness raises immediate questions. As he's being physically escorted out, TLA notices the officer's body-worn camera is already recording. Yet no warning was given, a basic procedural step in most forces unless there's a justified reason to withhold it. That omission alone signals a disregard for standard practice. Then comes the reaction to TLA stating he'll file a complaint. The sergeant's smug, excellent reply speaks volumes, projecting not professionalism but open arrogance. The exchange about being a public servant only deepens the issue. Attempting to sidestep that label by calling himself a crown servant doesn't erase responsibility or accountability. It merely creates the impression of someone trying to place themselves above the very public they are sworn to serve.
You're the sergeant.
Do you appreciate?
He just assaulted me and you allowed that to happen.
No, listen, you've been putting your camera up
and what?
Windows for people who are having private consultations.
And windows, people having private conversations.
Yeah.
Where?
No, it's an NHS facility.
I didn't go into the NHS part.
You did go to the NHS
No, I
facility.
didn't. It's on film, you numpty.
Right, now you've been rude.
And what?
That's rude,
it's
isn't
not
it?
a crime to be rude, is it? I've just been assaulted by this man,
one's been
and you want me to be
assaulted.
nice about it. Who do you think you
You're
are?
out of the building because you're causing a breach of the peace. You're actually going to cause harm to people.
Well, arrest me for it then. Arrest me for it
We don't
then.
need to do that.
Arrest me for it. Let's see the CPS say.
The CPS won't get involved.
The CPS won't even authorise charges. You're a numpty.
Don't be rude.
I don't. It's not
Would
a
you
crime.
like to listen to how the law works?
It is not a crime to be rude, sir. I've just been assaulted by this tyrant.
You've been removed
from a public place.
For a breach of the peace.
From a public place.
The breach of the peace
Trespassed.
ends now you're out here.
Trespassed from a public place
So
by
what we're going
a
to
police
do-
officer.
what we-
Arrest me if
Will
it's a
you
breach of the
please
peace.
listen?
If it's a breach of the peace,
Listen.
arrest me.
Listen.
Arrest me.
Listen.
And I never got you to identify formally.
Are you going to-
Identify yourself.
I'm Sergeant Can. Matthew Can. It's written there.
Yeah. Number. Station.
1000 here.
What are you doing here? Is that how you address members of the public? Is that how you identify yourself to a judge? You're dismissed.
Don't go back
Tyrant.
into the count.
Instead of easing the situation, the second sergeant escalates it further, attempting to reshape the narrative by alleging that TLA had been recording people during private consultations, a serious accusation that the footage itself contradicts, since TLA remained at reception the entire time. That claim isn't a minor misunderstanding. It's a deliberate effort to portray lawful filming as intrusive misconduct. When that argument fails to gain traction, he pivots to the familiar fallback of breach of the peace, a term often invoked when no clearer authority applies. But breach of the peace is not a blanket power to remove someone simply because staff are uneasy. It demands an imminent risk of violence or significant disorder, neither of which is present. So when TLA responds, "If it's breach of the peace, arrest me," the hesitation that follows speaks volumes, because they know the legal threshold simply hasn't been met.
Am I being detained?
No,
I'm free to go and I'm free to stay. Jog on.
The breach of the peace will occur again, and you'll be arrested for breach of the peace.
Breach of the peace.
Yeah, and if you keep going in there,
What breach of the what?
I've explained to you.
Define breach of the peace.
Well, listen.
Define breach of the peace.
Would you like me to, or are you going to interrupt me?
Define breach of the peace.
I'm going to.
Go on.
Right. So breach of peace occurs when harm is about to happen.
What harm is happening?
The harm that's going to take place is
What
you're
harm?
filming people.
That's not illegal, sir.
Listen.
Don't shout at me.
Listen.
Don't talk to me like that. Who do you think you are?
I'm trying to explain to you.
You're talking to a member of the public, for goodness sake.
Cheerio. Doctor has told me that you were filming people having private consultations.
Well, you need to arrest him because he made a false
mental
report.
health facility.
He's made a false
If you
report.
are- if
It's
you
on
are
film.
filming people
It is on
who
film.
have
It can all be
anxiety,
proved. This is the witness
and
that doesn't
mental health
lie.
conditions,
The witness
then
that
you
doesn't
will cause
lie.
breach of the peace.
This is the witness that doesn't lie. It's on film. Why would I lie if
Well,
I
that's
filmed it
fine.
all?
When you make your complaint, you can.
I will
produce
make my
that, can't
complaint.
you? And you will. And,
I will use your
and
own
I imagine
shop.
you'll give an edited copy and all the rest of it.
No, you see everything.
But if you stay out here, we're all good.
And I need to make a complaint about a council official.
Okay, well, you can do that through their website.
No, I
or
can't.
by
I could do
calling.
it. I could do it at the reception.
No, because you are
infringing on
purposefully-
my human rights.
These are not infringing on
Article
your
10 of the Human Rights Charter. You don't know the law. You don't know human rights.
This is the point where the contradictions are impossible to ignore. He asks the key question, am I being detained? And they answer no, which in plain terms means he should be free to stand where he is or carry on as he chooses. Yet despite that, they prevent him from going back inside, effectively exercising control while refusing to anchor it to any specific legal power. It's that uncomfortable middle ground, not detained in theory, but not truly free in reality. To reinforce their position, the sergeant relies on the doctor's allegation that TLA was recording private consultations, even though TLA maintains he remained at reception and has footage to support it. If that accusation doesn't hold up, then the very foundation used to justify his removal collapses, because it's the central claim propping up the entire decision.
Do you not think we have better things to do with
I don't
our
care.
time?
Well, go away. I didn't ask you to come out. Go away.
No, you didn't, but...
Go away.
But-
You can't trespass someone from a public place. Are you dumb? That means you could trespass someone from a public park. It means you could trespass someone from the pavement.
No.
It's owned by the council, is it not?
Because that's not a building, is
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. What do you mean enclosed space? Trespass is trespass. Doesn't matter where it is. If you're trespassing someone, you're trespassing them from property, whether it's from pavement,
property.
a car park, from a car park or a pavement. Doesn't matter. A park, whatever.
My colleague has had a complaint from a doctor in the NHS.
Have they? I didn't go in there. It's on film. So he's going to get done for lying. You've not investigated him to find out exactly where I was because he's made a false police report. You're not bothered about that, are you? Where's your impartiality? Do you stand on your oath today, officer? Do you stand on your oath today?
I have suspicion that
Okay.
you were
Let me-
infringing on those people's right to a personal life
Personal life. What on earth are you talking about?
because they're in an NHS facility having a medical
I wasn't in there.
consultation,
I wasn't in there.
and you are sticking your camera through a window.
I
or up
didn't stick
through a
my
window.
camera through a window. I went to the
What
door.
are their right to privacy? What are their
There's no
human rights?
expectation of rights, no expectation of privacy in public.
They weren't in public. They were in a private
I
consultation
didn't go
room.
there
You were
though.
filming at the window.
No. So if you stood on your oath and you were impartial, I'm telling you that didn't happen. I've got it on film. I've got evidence to prove that. They made a
Can I
false
see it?
police report. What?
Can I see
I'll
it?
make it available to you at a later stage.
Makes this particularly troubling is how readily they accept a single narrative without scrutiny. TLA repeatedly explains that the allegation isn't accurate, that he never entered the NHS section, yet his account isn't examined, tested, or even seriously considered. Instead, the doctor's statement is treated as unquestionable truth, while his version is brushed aside. That isn't impartial policing, it's bias operating under the cover of authority. When he asks whether they stand by their oath, he's zeroing in on the core issue. Are they there to establish facts, or simply to back the first complaint they hear? The fact that he must continually restate that he wasn't even inside the NHS building highlights how little genuine attention is being paid to what he's actually saying.
And you
Belligerent and
are
all that,
purposefully
yeah.
trying to provoke reactions. I assume
oh yeah, because I
reviews
asked
for
you to
coverage.
I asked you to put your hands on me. Victim blaming.
See how the way you're dressed and the way you're acting would make people worried and scared in this building.
I don't care. It's not my problem. It's their problem. I'm in a public place. I'm not doing anything illegal.
So you don't care about anyone else's rights, you only care about your rights.
What rights is it that I'm breaching of theirs? What rights? Tell me. What rights? What laws? Any of that? You keep mentioning all this stuff, but you can't mention anything. Any legislation that I've broken, anything like that. What have I done that is illegal, that is wrong?
Are you willing to show
I'll
me?
show you that. If you're going to let me back in and I'll carry on filming, and now, I want an apology. If I prove that there's been a false, I've not been in there. I've not been sticking it in when people have private consultations. That was a false police report. Why wouldn't you uphold your oath, remain impartial, and investigate that? Because that's a crime. That's someone who's made a false police report.
Yeah, but it'd be their perception. If they saw you near that door and believed you to be filming.
No. You've just put your hands on me under the pretext that I was infringing on people's privacy, as you said. You didn't make an official complaint.
Well, that's
but you're
why
using
I've come and
you're
asked
using it
you,
as
and then
grounds-
you've shown me, and that's great.
And you're using it as grounds to do whatever it is you want to do. You're a disgrace, man.
Well, at that time, we had suspicion that was what
Not
happened.
once have you tried to apologise. You see I didn't harass anyone. You see I didn't get in anyone's face. You see I was just minding my own business.
I've
So,
said that part of it was true.
did you apologise?
No?
No, why not?
You said you're going to follow that up with PSD,
Yeah, you're screwed.
and
mate.
then I'll wait for their findings.
You fucked big time. Big time. Now what?
Okay.
Now jog on. Ta-da. Walk of shame.
Right. Thank you very much for your time.
Fuck off. Do one.
Thank you.
Yeah, walk of shame. Bye.
The closing moments, the sergeant pivots to criticizing TLA's clothing and demeanor, implying that appearance or confidence can somehow infringe on other people's rights, a deeply troubling standard to apply. Civil liberties don't disappear because someone dresses differently or speaks assertively. When TLA asks the straightforward question, whose rights have I actually violated? There's no clear response, only an awkward absence of one. Then comes the turning point that should have reset the entire encounter. He presents the footage. The evidence is plain to see: no recording of private consultations, no intrusion into restricted areas, none of the claims used to justify the removal. In that instant, it's clear the suspicion was unfounded. Yet there's no acknowledgement, no apology, no effort to correct course, just disengagement and a quiet exit. That's not mere confusion. That's ego taking precedence over accountability. What this situation ultimately reveals is how quickly doubt can harden into certainty once officers decide someone looks suspicious. From that moment on, every action is filtered through that assumption. Instead of reevaluating when confronted with proof, they enforced the narrative, and when it unraveled, they chose not to repair the harm. That wraps up today's breakdown. If you found this analysis valuable, hit like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to support independent coverage like this. Be sure to check out the Laughing Auditor as well. You'll find his channel linked in the description. Show him your support. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.